All right, we're here with Ben, who just informed me he's in Des Moines, Iowa.
Yes, that is the place.
I think Iowa gets somewhat of a bad reputation. I've heard pretty good things about it.
It does. I'm from here. I personally enjoy it, but I live in Phoenix, Arizona now, and I enjoy that a little bit more.
Just the weather or other aspects as well?
I like the weather obviously much better, but it's just a much bigger city too. There's a lot more things to do, it seems like.
But, Iowa is expanding, right? You kind of get a little bit of that West Coast vibe.
A little bit, yeah. I certainly prefer Iowa to like the Northeast, to be honest. No offense to you or the Northeasterners out there. It's just not my favorite place.
So the other thing I told Ben is he somewhat looks like he's coming to us from a prison cell, but he's not. He just happens to be wearing an orange shirt in a small room.
Yes, just love to wear bright orange shirts in small rooms. It's my thing.
So the reason we have you here is because you've been incredibly successful with tracking your macros, with flexible eating, with own your eating. And I usually kind of start off with saying, all right, give me your elevator pitch on your success. Sum up your success in 1 minute.
Okay. Well, I've been going now for about, I think 2.5 months tracking macros. I'm down about 8.5 pounds. Which I don't think sounds like a ton of weight. I've seen most of my effects really in the gym where I've had like a ton of success. I don't think that there's much that I've not PR'd since I started with Own Your Eating, especially when it comes to those body weight gymnastics movements. Really got started doing like my first pull-up to being able to string together 7, 8 in a row, which is awesome. Stuff like that. So I'd say in the gym, it's really helped me out. I did CrossFit for probably 6 months before I started Own Your Eating, and in those first 6 months, I did not increase nearly as much as I've increased in the past 2.5.
Which is also interesting because I always tell people, hey, those first 6 months are like your golden months. You walk in and it's like, I'll PR this, I'll PR that. Mm-hmm. And you're actually hitting more PRs after that period of time.
For sure. And I've just gained a ton of confidence. Like I said, in high school, I did a lot of weightlifting. I was pretty confident with a barbell when I first came into CrossFit, and it took a while to get back into it, but it was pretty easy as far as the barbell movements, dumbbells, things like that. But the gymnastics stuff really threw me off, and I would say I didn't have much success that first 6 months with any of those movements. I didn't gain a lot of traction with any of them. And in the past 2.5, I've just exploded in them.
So aside from pull-ups, what else? What else has improved as far as gymnastics goes?
Pull-ups, handstand push-ups, I would say is probably even more so than pull-ups. I've just gotten a ton better at that. But it's honestly just as simple as like being able to hang on a bar. When I first started, I had trouble all right, we're going to warm up. We're going to accumulate 2 minutes of hanging on a bar. And I was like, okay. And that sounded easy. And it took me like 10 sets to do it. It was really, really difficult for me. Whereas now I feel like it's just so much easier.
And I think like you alluded to right away is, 8.5 pounds is not really 8.5 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
You've probably lost more like 12 or 13 pounds of body fat while gaining muscle. So it's definitely equating to success.
For sure. I wish that I would A, measure body fat now, and B, I wish I would have done it at the beginning of it. Because it's hard for me to know exactly what I've done with my body fat, but I just know that it's significantly better. I feel a lot leaner, and I'm obviously just doing more things in the gym that I probably shouldn't be able to do.
I like that, shouldn't be able to do.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
We talked about your success at the gym. How has your nutrition or how has your eating changed from that day before Own Your Eating to getting started? What were some of the biggest changes you had to make, and what were some of the biggest things you noticed about the way you were eating?
The biggest change, I think, was honestly that I had to eat a lot more to start off with, which I found really, really hard. I remember tracking that a lot early on, that I was just really full all the time, and it was hard to get enough food. And I think most people can identify, especially with the protein. I don't supplement anything, so I get most of my protein through chicken. And 167 grams of chicken or of protein from chicken is just a lot of chicken. So I was filling up a lot, super full. It's since leveled out quite a bit. Now I'm finding myself a little more hungry, but that was a big change. And I found that I was just eating way too much fat, which I think is another common thing. Early on, I definitely was struggling with the protein to fat ratio.
Well, that's pretty interesting. Most people that would be listening to this and say, okay, well, I'm going to start a diet, I need to eat less. And you're saying I had to eat more to lose weight.
For sure. Yeah. And I was eating I felt like I was eating really healthy because I was eating a ton of meat, but most of the meat that I was eating was like pork and beef. And just changing from that to chicken made a pretty big difference, to be honest, and eating more vegetables and that type of thing.
What's something else you said that's interesting is you've done this with no supplements.
Yeah. So I used to work at a supplement retailer and I used to do all of it. I was choking down creatine and protein and branched chain, amino acids, all of it. And I got really sick of it. And I really kind of resolved to not do that anymore. I'm not really getting ready for a sport or anything, so I don't feel like it's super necessary for me. I'm just trying to feel good. So, and I still haven't found a protein powder that tastes good out there. So if someone does find one, let me know.
Well, and it's probably a lot cheaper to not have to worry about taking hundreds of dollars worth of supplements.
For sure.
And you can't argue with it. You're eating real food, you're performing better at the box, and you're looking and feeling better than ever. So there's something to be said about that.
No, absolutely. It's been awesome.
What's next? What's next for you when it comes to tracking? What are your goals as far as, how do you want to look? How do you want to feel? And how do you want to perform?
So my goal weight is 185 pounds, which seems crazy to me, to be honest, because a few years ago I weighed like 280 and I got down a lot just with yo-yo diets, going back and forth and feeling like crap for 6 months and then crashing for 6 months and all that fun stuff. But I really would like, whether it's 185 or I think 199.999 is my number that I want to hit right now, because I feel like forever I felt like I'm a big guy. I'm not a person that can weigh less than 200 pounds, but I know that I can now. I know that that's an achievable goal. So I'm really kind of anxious to get there.
Well, and what we tell a lot of people, I think we're living proof where it's like, yeah, if you tried to get to 200 in the past, that would be your cutoff, because you'd say, well, if I get there, I've damn near killed myself.
Yeah.
And now you're like, I'm going to get there eating more food than I used to. And I promise you, if we get you to 200, which I have no doubt we will, as we approach 180, you're going to be eating even more food, meaning you're going to need to eat more to continue to lose weight.
Mm-hmm.
So,
no, absolutely.
A matter of time for that, and you're doing awesome. Any bigger goals when it comes to training at the box?
I'm really working on that first bar muscle up. We're close. We're so close. We just gotta get a little more pull, and we're gonna get it here soon.
Funny, I just saw that 30 muscle ups was released for the CrossFit Games.
30 muscle ups
on the second event on Wednesday. So that's the first announced event, and I posted something about it. But back in the day when I first started in 2007, if you could even do 30 muscle ups, you were kind of a beast. And
yeah.
I think this year at the games, we're going to see people going unbroken on 30 muscle ups. But
freaks, man, it's incredible what they're able to do.
For you, it's nice because you'll see as you continue to make that progress, those gymnastic movements are going to continue to get easier, and it's like a floodgate. Once you get your first one, you'll have 30, the next day.
Hopefully something like that.
And when you travel like this, are you still going in? You still training?
To be honest, up till now, I haven't. I'm usually on like a 3 or 4 day trip. I'll just try to find like a football field with a track and do some running workout. But since I'm here for so long, I am. My best friend actually lives in Des Moines, and I'm going to go check out his box here actually this afternoon in a few hours.
Which box is that?
CrossFit Merle Hay. I've not been there before, but he has a lot of good stuff to say.
You're going to get a lot of farm boy strength in these types of boxes, huh?
I hope so. Maybe we'll throw some hay around or something.
Cool. Well, maybe today's the day. We certainly want to see You know, when you hit that first bar muscle up, you need to have a camera on you every attempt going forward, because it's going to happen, and then you're going to regret. Just like you don't have your body fat, you're going to regret not having your first bar muscle up on video.
I'll be sure to bring the phone in every time I go in.
Yeah, just put it down and practice. So we look forward to seeing that. We look forward to sharing it, and I appreciate your time. So thanks a lot for being on.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason.